Medicine Lake, as it's called. I think the name is coming from, I think Canadian people were calling it like, something that translates like bad medicine because they thought there was something evil or nefarious about the lake. It was kind of strange. It is kind of an anomaly, actually. It's like a disappearing lake, if you will. Spring, summer, kind of look out at that rocky point. The water will get like to the bottom of the tree line even. Like that's a lot of volume of water, right? We've had a couple little flooding events here, spring and summer. I think it was a handful of years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. The water was almost like up to the top of the stairs here. You can actually imagine that. So kind of further up the road, another half hour brings you to Moline Lake. It's the largest natural lake in the Canadian Rockies. It's not dammed or that sort of thing. Beyond that, there's the Brazeau ice fields, lots of glaciers, lots of mountains, lots of snow, right? It is the Rockies. That glacial melt in spring and summer fills up those two lakes that flows into here. It kind of acts as a reservoir. And underneath here is what we call like, we refer to it as an underground river system or a cart system. There's lots of nooks and crannies underneath us, right? This whole province is like that. It's oil and gas country, right? So a bunch of stuff underneath us, and that water will just go in these little, not human-sized holes, but little nooks and crannies. Back in the old days, turn of the century, they were trying to plug up the lake. Honestly, they're throwing in like mattresses and garbage and stuff. It shows how smart we are. We're not even that smart anymore, I don't think. Back then, a little bit less. And it just kind of drains away. It was somewhere in the, maybe in the 70s or 80s, they put like colored dye in the water. Just seeing where it was ending up. The water from this area was ending up in Red Deer. That's a far drive away. Like it's a pretty dynamic, rocky geological landscape in Alberta, especially this area.
Are we walking down there?
Yeah, let's have a little stroll. Sorry, you're right next to me. I was like, I thought he was gonna. So yeah, let's go walk down there. We go again. We're not going right out onto the lake, but we'll take a stroll down. Just grab a hold of the railing. Be careful of the stairs because there's snow and stuff. What's up there? Oh yeah, exactly. I was just staring at that peak in the middle of those other peaks. This big drift of snow was coming off the top, so probably something crazy going on there. But yeah, it's kind of neat, right? Like this wasn't too much of a far of a drive. You get to Moline Lake. Moline Lake, pretty big, 22.4 kilometers at the furthest points. And a lot of backcountry, like canoe campsites. And that's like really from town to the Moline Lake is about an hour drive. I do it a bit quicker in my own vehicle because it's fun to speed on these roads, right? As you get some good weather where it freezes, not too much snow. People have those mountain bikes with a big, like fat tire bike, they call it, yeah. You do that thing. Lots of options for your outdoor needs. And what was it? I had a group, was this last week? I was doing like a wildlife search. We went kind of far out this way. There's a little parking lot, the Jacques Lake Trail. Pretty big moose. I'll show you a picture actually of it, just if you don't see moose today, so you can at least see one in the picture. and uses like an advertisement. It was pretty crazy though. Yeah, like that's taller than the truck.
Oh wow.
Oh. There. I'll have breakfast. We'll hang out here. As we start on our little hike here, I always like to mention, we always try to find different things to talk about on these trips so I don't bore myself, but I was reading a cool article, it was not too long ago. I think it was a doctor in Japan, I think I also read about it in Finland. Maybe Finns don't do it too much. But a doctor in Japan can prescribe you a walk in the woods. Literally. To decrease stress, right? We're all guilty of spending too much time on our phones, laptop screens, all that work, all this stuff. And it's such a simple thing. Even just walking around town. Like, you don't need all this expensive equipment to go for a walk, right? Keep that in mind. I'm no doctor. We probably had a stressful Christmas vacation. We're on vacation. You're worried about what's tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. What's for dinner tonight? At least we have this, right? Going for a nice stroll. For myself personally, I love focusing on a pine needle on a branch or crystallization of the snow, and it just feels good for your eyes and your just overall health, right? So that's what I'm prescribing us today. Enjoy that. So never forget that. I do a hike sometimes and I get lazy, even though I live out here. And after I do that hike, I'm like, oh my God, I just feel good. Just good to move and be outside in that nice mountain air. Keep that in mind. So keep the way in here. On any twigs or branches along. Be careful of that. It's back. As I'm busying myself here, take a look out to the left. A good view of Pyramid Mountain, right?